What's going on, podcast? Happy Monday! Got a brand new background for you guys. I know it's been a little boring here, so I'm just investing a little bit of the things for you guys. But welcome back to Creative Spark, the community of digital entrepreneurs. It's your host, Media Creator. Every Monday, I come right here to talk about digital entrepreneurs and social media for you creative folks. So if you are interested in any of that, hit all the follow and subscribe buttons right here. All right, guys. So I've been doing this podcast for a long time right now, and I think I kind of proved that basically anyone can do a podcast without any fancy equipment, any recording studios or special equipment other than this very cool microphone. That's a joke, of course, but I know a pretty cool goat that actually does his podcast in his car with a really tiny small cable microphone on his phone, and that just proves it. Anyone can start a podcast, guys. So here are the reasons, though, why you should start a podcast. So first of all, podcast is one of the most authentic type of content where you literally introduce yourself and your thoughts unfiltered, unlike any of your cool photos on Instagram. Your podcast, although might get a little less attention or audience, I get that, but those people who are listening, those are your true core audience that can build a better connection with you than all other mediums. So those who like your pictures on Instagram may unfollow you anytime. Anytime they find a better page, they may unfollow you right away. But those who listen to your words, they will be around much longer and they will stick to it. Also, the podcast, guys, it's a really solid piece of content that can create a lot more content in itself. So personally, I film my podcast right here. You guys can see it if you're watching on YouTube, and it brings me at least one new YouTube video every Monday. So I can at least have a weekly YouTube video, and then I cut the small parts where I talk about specific issues just about right now. Then I turn them into new videos of whether on YouTube or Instagram TV. And you can also find the best 10-15 seconds where you said something really amazing and just turn them into a TikTok or Instagram Reels. It's a bunch of different content, guys. But you know what brought me the biggest value out of all? LinkedIn. LinkedIn was the best place to share the podcast and let other pros know about my thoughts and opinions, and I didn't even know about it before. So if you're like talking about stuff that people can relate or learn from, just post it to LinkedIn. You're gonna see a huge value. Like, I had a couple of people I actually met face to face on Zoom calls or chats on real life because they just listened to my episode about cryptocurrencies and they wanted to connect. That was hilariously good. But if the first two are not solid reasons for you guys, here's one more. Personally, I don't really care much about monetization on the podcast, but if you guys do, just use Anchor to distribute your podcast to all big platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or many other, just by using a small 15 or 30-second ad sequence, I guess, just to promote Anchor. You can monetize all your episodes, all of them, and make money from your podcast. So if you're listening on Creative Spark, if you've been listening to me for some time, you know that I'm not doing that. It's just not the type of the direction I wanted to go with the podcast. I'm looking more into TikTok and YouTube for monetization in the future, but it's a great opportunity for you guys if you like to make some extra with your words. So it's actually great. But starting a podcast can also help you to meet some of the most influential people that you always looked up and always wanted to talk to. So whatever the space you are, we all love publicity, right? You and me, we all love publicity. We all love to be featured. We all love to be published, becoming a guest in any show, right? So whether your podcast is big or small, if you can sell your idea really well, if your sales pitch is strong, you can convince some of the most influential people to come on your show and talk about your topic that you want. It's a great mutual partnership with your guest, and it also makes the show even more interesting for the fans and listeners. So I would say if you ever get my word and start a podcast, don't be shy and email some of these people. Just email them and results may shock you. I got a friend who actually emailed the founder of Hashtag for his podcast. It's crazy. Shout out to Taha. And finally, I want to add, if you want to be a YouTuber, vlogger, social media person, whatever, but you're struggling with the camera or the words, starting a podcast helps you big time to improve your stuff. Like, it's a great way of practice expressing your thoughts, becoming an entertainer, educator, or just becoming yourself. I know that being in front of the camera, you don't really feel so great at first, especially you're able to see yourself on a flip screen or on the camera and you feel worse, like, I don't belong here. Oh my God, no. But if you feel that your voice still needs to be heard, podcast is one of the best options to talk about your interests, passions, or arguments. It's just a great way to practice without getting embarrassed, I guess. But I guess I already counted a lot of solid reasons. So you know what? I'm gonna leave it right here, guys. But if you guys have any other questions about this, just feel free to reach me out on Instagram or TikTok. As Media Creator, you guys can find me on the internet. But, you know, I really hope that this episode triggers you somehow to start a podcast, or at least try it. Just try it, you know, press record. I love this word. Just press record. And other than that, if you enjoyed the episode, I hope, and I really wish that you would hit all the shiny buttons you see, and you'd review us on Apple Podcasts. We are really new on Apple, so I would appreciate every single review, every single positive comment. You guys can DM me your comments as well. I would appreciate it, big guys. Some of you guys show me support on my Instagram DM messages. I appreciate that. Every time I share a podcast episode, you guys hype me up. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, guys. And I think that's it from me just for this week. Until I see you guys next week, be out for now. Peace.